Hey there, it's Pete over at the Sampleist, and today we are checking out Presage from A Score to Settle Sound Design. ASTS Sound Design have entered the world of Kontakt with Presage, their first boutique horror sample library. Designed by composers for composers, Presage contains a plethora of unique signature sounds with the ability to elevate your scores from mildly spine-tingling to edge-of-your-seat terror. With sounds that you're not going to find anywhere else, Presage is a great collection for any horror scoring composer. Presage requires the full version of Kontakt 6.8.0 or higher, and it downloads at 1.71 gigabytes. All sounds have been recorded at 24-bit 48 kHz resolution. It's currently on sale until April the 8th. For $79. After that intro promotion has ended, it goes up to $99. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank ASTS Sound Design for sending over a copy of Presage so we can make this video. Of course, while we get the libraries for free, it does not in any way influence our thoughts, ideas, or judgments on anything that you see in this video. We are just working composers who want to showcase the hard work of the developers by making these videos. What we're going to do in this video is check out the content of Presage, look at the Kontakt interface and see what all the controls do, and then I've thrown it into the all-important composition. So without further ado, let's jump in and check out Presage. And here we have Presage from ASTS Sound Design, the boutique horror instrument loaded up in Native Instruments Kontakt. The GUI is stunning. Props to whoever designed that. I love it. It's very, very clear. It pops. Really, really straightforward controls. Yeah, absolutely superb. On the left-hand side, you can see all of the different instruments that we have, and Presage doesn't use any snapshots. It is a case of drag and drop the instruments. So I've loaded up the first instrument, which is Attic Rumbles, Dark Impacts, Slams. Okay, so you get the idea. Now, this is an interesting one. You can see that I'm using the large dial in the middle on CC1. That adds compression and transient. So if I just choose any of the samples, love it. If I use the mod wheel, you can hear how the sound has been compressed and enhanced. Let's just go for another one. So you've got onboard sound design capabilities. Okay. So throughout this video, I'll be using the mod wheel, but you can see exactly what it does. Now, the frenzy control and the fever, I'm just going to explain these two as well because these are very, very cool. So frenzy adds all kinds of delays. So if I just do that. So it's very creative delay. Okay. And fever, let's go turn that down. Fever adds saturation. So I'll bring the up in the mix. Okay, so the cool thing about these are, because I was playing around with these, I just wanted to pop them on different faders, and then let's get CC1 as well. So you can have a bit of fun with the sounds. Lovely. Yeah. And there we go. So that is the three controls. And it's really, really important talking about these at the moment because I'm going to be using especially the trepid button in the middle, or the dial. Now, you can see you've got space, got reverse, got envelope, you've got screaming, got filter as well, either side. So these are extra effects that you can use. Now, you can hear the difference or the range of sounds in there. So let's just move on to the next one. So we've got the Azam, Bodewood and cymbals. Brilliant. Then we've got the bell triggers and tick-tocks. Now I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. Okay, let's bring the trepid button up. Okay, got some really cool ticks going on there. Then we've got the dark Victrola. Again, I always mention my eyesight at the moment because it's just pretty shocking. So if I say anything incorrectly, please do tell me. Or just, you know, don't worry about it. Atmos and drones. So it's not your standard never-ending pad, kind of just, it's there. You got these really in-your-face sounds. Now this, and that, in fact, that is one of my favourite of the collection. Sounds brilliant. Let's go through Ghost Bows. These are atonal. They sound brilliant. Now, despite them being atonal, sorry, you can obviously use tonal instruments around them, and you'll hear there are different pitches. So you will find something that will fit your tonal center. But yeah, they sound great. Then we've got Haunted Cuckoo Clock. I like this. Now you find me another library that has a haunted cuckoo clock. Yeah, so these are very unique signature designs, and they're more dry towards the top. In the middle, they're just quite bizarre. And then down the bottom, they are more designed. It's very cool stuff. Then we've got the dry scrapes. So these are dry. Yeah. That is a sound I make when a guitar that I want is on eBay, but it's well out of my price range. So there we go. I wasn't sampled, just for clarity. Then we have Horace Sprite Scrapes. Love the stereo effect there. And they've got Wraith Scrapes. Absolutely love how the sounds evolve. Good stuff. Paranoia Stings. Now, these are my favorite, and I've obviously already made the composition because that's how I get to learn the libraries. And yeah, these are just fantastic. They're so out there. Now they're very complex sounds, so let's play a single sound. And then another one. They're so cool. They've got typewriter mechanics. And there we go. For some reason, I'm thinking about Tom Hanks, what he'd make of this, because he is an avid typewriter collector, I believe. Yeah. Sorry, I just love it. I absolutely love it. And then we have the Victrola needle. Okay, so it's all kind of sounds that you could obviously use in your horror scoring. Now, that is Presage. It's a really, really straightforward instrument. However, the design is gorgeous. The sounds are unique. They're signature sounds, which I've not really heard these sounds, as in these types of sounds. This is my first typewriter. Let's put it that way. And I know the arm stuff, like the actual instruments, are very, very hard to come by. They're handmade. Yeah, just having that in your DAW is brilliant. But this is, you know, incredibly creative, and just the range of sounds are wonderful. So what we're going to do now is check out what it sounds like in a composition. Now, in the composition, I've done a few things. So I've edited the audio, so I've rendered to audio, done a little bit of editing. I have used some of the onboard effects as well, but I've also tried some third-party effects. I've used a space and the ADSR when I needed to. Filters, but we know what a filter does, and it's really, really cool to, if you want to create a boom or something, for example, you can just do that with the filter, and you can adjust the sounds as much as you need to. And the screamer, yeah, the screamer's just full-on distortion, very, very fun stuff. So in my composition, I will go through what I've used, how I've achieved the sounds I have, but I can say right now, composing with Presage is just a lot of fun. It is just a really wonderful instrument, and it's very, very well made. Right, with me saying all these wonderful things about Presage, I forgot to say, let's check out the composition. And there we have our composition, complete with found footage, which was located in the small Cotswold village of Bourton-on-the-Wold. I don't like the horse person and the bunny person at the end. You just feel like something bad's going to happen, which is the whole point of Presage. So if you're ever in the Cotswolds in the UK, watch out for those two characters, because they could be anywhere. Anyway, let's talk about the library. On the left-hand side, you can see anything in blue is Presage. And you'll notice I have actually loaded every single instrument as a Kontakt instrument, and it looks gorgeous when you are composing, really fills the screen. GUI is wonderful. However, you'll notice there's a couple of audio tracks, and these are renders that I've made. And there's a reason I've done that, because I like playing around with audio, doing glitchy effects and various different things. So I will show you those when we get there. When we're on the red tracks, it is just a boom, or a sub really, that I use from the A Score to Settle sound design library called Abandoned, which we have covered on this channel. So feel free to check that out as well. And it all starts off with layering and layering. So instead of playing individual instruments, you can hear how everything just glues together. It is atonal, and it really, really works. But if you want to add tonal elements, you can as well against what you're working with, because everything is pitched. Well, not everything, but most things are pitched. So you can get roughly where you want to be. But I found it really, really fun to work with, and really, really creative. And I've only used really a handful of different sounds from each instrument, so plenty more to use, but the atmosphere is absolutely stunning. So with the video because we love a good video. Just going to press play. It's harrowing stuff, isn't it? Now, we can hear we've got different bows, different scrapes, different sounds. I play the atmospheres, one bar on, one bar off, as it were. But I'm not really composing to the grid, I'm composing to the video. So you can see when there's a change in scene, I punctuate that with a boom or a hit. We found our way into the woods, so I'm looking for sounds that represent what's going on. Therefore, I'm using the haunted cuckoo clock. We see our friend here. Now he has a horse's head for a head. No confirmed sightings yet, but you know, I decided that I was going to use some different metallic hits to represent him. It's like a spooky leitmotif. So lovely. And I'm playing different sounds across sections as well. So you can see the ghost bows start, but we're into the TV section. Now, I purposely glitched out some of the video footage because it was quite dull in its original state, as in when it was found. So I added some glitches. So these TVs, I put some glitches to, and I wanted to use the typewriter mechanics, so the shorts in effect, and the tick-tocks to create almost like a pulse that goes with the pulses of the TVs. And then we continue that trend with the eye. On these instruments here, I've used some external effects because we always use external effects. The GUI is absolutely fantastic and there's some very, very cool onboard effects. But I was very specific what I wanted. So I went for some creative delays and Panman as well. So we've got this really, really cool stereo field. And in context with everything else, lovely. So the eye is kind of tracking as well the typewriter mechanics, and when it blinks, I've used a hit as well, which kind of goes into I'm trying to think where it'd be found. Yeah, so it's using the abandoned sub and the Victrola needle. And the idea behind that, the screen changes to static television. And this sounds a bit sort of lo-fi, 8-bit computing. Which incidentally is my genre of video gaming. So the old ZX Spectrum when we grew up. So we've got the TV going on there. And then a little bit out of character for the rest of the video is just, it cuts to an arm. We're not sure who the arm belongs to. And they're just doing a spot of DIY. And before making this video, I did some DIY today. I changed a light, got a small electric shock, and I was waving my screwdriver in the air, just like this person was waving their hammer. But I didn't have this soundtrack behind me, which I think would have enhanced the moment a lot more. Marvelous. Now, this is one of I say it's an effect. It's just really, really basic, but using silence, as in complete silence, to transition between sections is very, very cool. So you can hear everything that's going on, and then I've rendered, it's an atmosphere. I rendered it, and it does just cut off completely abruptly when the scene cuts. Now, of course, we do have a big reverb tail there, so if I was to go a bit further back, play from here. So it has a really, really cool effect, just bringing the whole composition down, and it really captures the frustration of spilling what I believe to be Ribena. So yeah, a blackcurrant beverage. Don't know, that would bother me. Maybe hit it with a hammer by accident. So there we go. Anyway, then we're introduced to our I can't say it. I'm gonna say villain. I almost said hero. Protagonist. There we go. But I'm going the other way. And we see him there. So again, I'm using a sound to punctuate his arrival. And this is where it gets a little bit crazy. Haunting. Now, let's work backwards, actually. Here, you can see that I've rendered these different sounds, the atmospheres, the paranormal stings, which are fantastic. I really layered them up. If you look at the MIDI, that's not the MIDI for that. That's the TikToks. So, yeah, went quite bizarre and just layered all these up, and it creates that mayhem, that chaos, which is what I was really going for. Yeah, and then I rendered these twice. So I actually played them in, and then I selected it all and just moved them up one as well to get some different sounds. So yeah. And you get this really, really cool clash. So if I was play these together, and they're panned left and right as well. Now, I had these with the dark vitriol and atmosphere, which is the siren one. And that's just playing away. And I think I might have been lazy and I don't think I automated it. Yeah, so I just drew in a fade curve. Could have automated this volume, but I did it that way. And chopped up randomly at the end, sort of different glitchy patterns to kind of match what's going on with the screen. And of course we have a really, really abrupt ending. Now, to get everything just to really stop dead, I just automated the master completely down to 0. So if I just play just that bit, you guarantee not to have any reverb tails, and it has that really cool effect. When the screen goes blank, the sound's gone as well. I'm quite a fan of that, but that's just me. Lovely. Now, again, not really using too many effects. However, I did something which I think is pretty cool on the TikToks. So we have, yeah. So these should be, if I just show all automation. Yeah. So these are faded in, but these ones aren't. And I'm essentially just bringing in an affected signal. So it should sound dry, and then it should sound affected. Just gives it movement and adds to the chaos. And there we go. So there is a hit as well. Is it a hit? Yeah. So this chimes in when the video starts glitching as well. Again, I think it's really effective. And I didn't really do anything to represent it going a bit trippy like that. Mainly just the glitches, really. But yeah, it's a really effective way to end. And then who knows what happens next? Obviously something bad, because it's Presage. There we go. Use Presage in a sentence correctly. Don't think I did there. But there we go. That is our composition using all of the instruments of Presage. And I have to admit, I'm really... well, I just had a really good time. That is the best way to say it. It sounds great. The samples are brilliant, but it's when you start working with the library and putting your ideas together in sounds, and it takes you in different directions. It's a very, very cool library. But I'm going to save my closing thoughts for the closing thoughts. But I do hope you enjoyed that composition and narrative. Wonderful. It is now time for my closing remarks about Presage from ASTS Sound Design. As you can tell from the composition and the walkthrough, I just had so much fun working this library. It is fantastic. The sounds within are brilliant. It's not your typical horror fare. Presage can set the scene with some gentle ambience and then ramp up the terror to full-on hysteria. It's incredible the sort of light and shade this library has. So the sound design is brilliant, and the initial samples, like I say, is something a little bit different. It's not your typical horror fare. Things are a bit spooky. No, this is terrifying stuff, and it can elevate your compositions from being, you know, pretty effective to unbelievably gut-inducing terror effective. And that's exactly what you want from a library like Presage. Do I recommend it? Well, yeah, I really do. Not only because the instrument design is great and the sounds contained within are fantastic, it's because it's been made by composers for composers. You can tell the ASTS Sound Design people, they are all composers in their own right, and these are sounds that you will be using, and they blend together really, really well. You can combine them with other libraries, so you've got more tonal sounds mixed in with these absolutely horrifying sounds. But like I say, every single sound that I encountered in the library, I did play them all, I could easily use, and that means for your $79, if you pick this up during the intro price, you are getting a treasure trove of horror sounds that you can use in not only your next creation or your next composition, but you could score an entire movie with Presage. There are that many sounds contained within. So really, if horror scoring is your thing, this is a great addition to your composing palette. So for that reason, yes, it comes highly recommended. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank a Score to Settle Sound Design, ASTS Sound Design, for sending over a copy of Presage so we can make this video. And like I say, I just had so much fun working with this library. It really was a pleasure. If you like what you heard, feel free to leave a like on the video, and of course, leave a comment. What do you like about the library? Have you picked it up? Are you mulling it over? Because obviously the intro has 4 or 5 days left on it. Really, is this your kind of library? Once you've done that, feel free to check out our other videos, and of course, subscribe to our channel. We create content all the time. We love what we make. It's just about our working composer ideas and our thoughts, and we love spreading the work of the developers, all that hard work. So please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't, and of course, until next time, keep making that amazing, or in the Presage genre, that evil and distressing music, and we'll see you again next time. Take care.